should be like you, Melvin.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Cherries fans from around the world. Welcome to another edition of Cherry AM on this Wednesday morning. Usually you see mine and my co-host, Malcolm Chiverton's face on Thursday. Welcome, Malcolm.
Good morning to you. Good morning. It's Wednesday, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
It is. It's October. It's October, isn't it?
It is, yeah. First of October, and it's a Wednesday.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm good. How are you, Ollie?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, very well indeed. Looking forward to this morning's show. I know that we've got a few bits and bobs to discuss in regards to the league table. What I want to do before we go straight to the chat is just pop this little message out to remind everyone as well.
Up the Cherries in all departments has been nominated for the Best Club Content Creator for the Premier League. To vote, visit the link on screen. We thank you in advance for your support, and up the Cherries.
There we go.
My vote's in.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Mal. Anyone who hasn't voted, please do go and vote. Anyone whose parents, siblings, children haven't voted, please go and get them to vote as well. It'd be fantastic to get as many as possible. Let's crack on with the comments. Nice and early, we've got Paul Sands. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Paul.
And Paul has somehow got in here just as we were talking about exactly this message. And he says, rumours are starting to circulate again. If United lose against Sunderland at the weekend, they'll be looking for a manager change. And guess who the bookies' favourites take over?
I wonder.
Yeah.
What a coincidence, really.
Yeah, the speculation.
We'll get on to that in a minute.
Yeah. Darren Hurst. Morning, Daz. He says, morning, Paul, Craig, Sean. I don't think he knows you're here yet, Malcolm.
Morning, Daz.
Matt Harrison. Morning, mate. He says, morning, all. Remember to smash the like, guys. Always a good show with Ollie and Malcolm. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning to you.
Chris Hubble. Morning, everyone. Morning, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Matt says Andoni won't go to United. I've done a video a few weeks ago explaining the reasons why he won't leave and why it wouldn't work for Iriola at United. Please do go and watch that if you haven't already, guys. Yeah,
good video, Matt. Thanks for
that. David DaCosta, morning all. Morning, David.
Morning, David.
Dazza says, morning, Malcolm and Ollie. Blue skies and 23 here in Outback Down Under. Lol. Thank you, Daz. It's getting better for you, isn't it? As yours gets better and bluer, mine gets worse and greyer.
Currently sunshine. Should be cloudy later. 13 degrees at the moment. Oh, it will be by midday. 13. Let that sink in.
Matthew says, morning, David. And he also says, morning, Dazza. Dazza says, Paul, enough already. Andoni is going nowhere. Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that. Dan Short, morning, Ollie and Malcolm. No ladies game this past weekend. What's your predicted lineup and score for Friday night? We'll come to that towards the end of the show, Dan. Not lineup, but we will do the score, as it's not our normal Thursday show. So we're going to leave that for Malcolm and Matt to cover on Friday. David DaCosta says, morning, Matt. Darren says, pinch punch, first day of the month and all that. Yeah, absolutely. First day of October. Liam Humbry, morning, everyone. Up the Cherries and Apartments. Morning, Liam.
Morning, Liam.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Absolutely, Dan Short. Yeah. Thank you. Reminding everyone always. I appreciate that. And Matt, for watching and only one like, smash the likes, guys. It is free. We're up to 15 watching now, guys. So anyone who hasn't, please do. Only helps us in the right direction. Dan Short, Liverpool lost 2 in a row. Spitting in pool. What does that mean?
I've no clue.
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to read that one, Dan. That hasn't come through my brain properly this morning.
Hang on. Let's get a fix here. So carry on.
yeah. Sean says, morning. I need to wake up, but don't want to. Yeah, I had that feeling this morning, Sean. Crikey.
Go back to sleep, Sean.
I have actually booked Friday off for the first time in a while because of that exact feeling, Sean. Matt says 12 watching now, 7 likes. Let's get these likes.
Thanks, Matt. Keep us updated.
Yeah, that's it. Dan says spitting in pool. Okay, so he's gone. Liverpool lost 2 in a row, and he's given us a weather update. It's spitting in pool. That makes more sense.
That makes sense now. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Cool. Okay, so me and Malcolm were talking last night. Obviously, after a fantastic, not necessarily Bournemouth entirely related show yesterday, thanks to Daz's topical suggestion. We thought we'd go for another one today because it was a great show yesterday. So thanks to Malcolm, we've actually come up with. Well, how would you say it, Malcolm? Would you like to introduce it?
No. Just to put you on the spot. No. Like you do, you don't think about anything is the best thing, and then something comes to you. All right. And bearing in mind, obviously, we are a Cherries channel, and when we get to the middle of the week, before the game, after the game, there's just so much content on the channel. You have to try and find something to fill the gaps. Now, yesterday was actually brilliant with referees, with Darren and yourself. Excellent show. So I'm thinking, how the hell do you follow that? What can we come up with a topic? And I just thought, well, let's go for Premier League. Look at the teams, who's underperforming and who's overperforming, but not necessarily, it's just random, basically. People in the chat, please feel free to comment your thoughts. I actually picked out 3 teams, totally random. There was no reason behind it. I've gone for Nottingham Forest, Manchester United and Sunderland. Okay, those are the 3 teams I was going to be looking at. You don't have to go too in-depth. Bearing in mind it's only 6 games in. And the idea is that after every 6 games, we'll come back and do some other teams, because obviously you can't cover them all in one hit. It's just too much. It'll take too long, basically. Yeah,
and obviously if you think of it like that, that means it would do a 6-game update today, a 12-game update after another 6 games, and so on. 18 games, 24 games. And it would just be a really nice update, I think, to get an understanding for you guys and from our point of view, exactly where everyone is in the table. Compared to Bournemouth, I guess.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I would think really the best thing to say about Bournemouth, we've raised the bar again.
Yeah,
this season. So pre-season, I don't mean games pre-season, before the season started, the talk is the 3 that come up, are they going to go straight back down again?
Wow.
Which was always an interesting point. And I think when the tier list came out, my view was that out of the teams that came up, Sunderland would be the ones that would stay up. And I think really it'd be quite cool to go straight into them to start with, if you like.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, obviously freshly promoted club. doing completely unexpectedly well, right? I mean, I know that we had our tier list chat, and there is a video on that, so please do go back and have a look and question us about where we decided and whether we're right or wrong so far 6 games in. But Sunderland was definitely one to watch, wasn't it, at the time? And I mean, well, they're 5th after only 1 loss in 6 games.
Well, impressive to say the least. 3 clean sheets. Let that sink in as well. I actually saw them against Forest at the weekend. Very well organised is the best way to describe them.
Yeah.
Also, the player they bought in, which really, I suppose, surprised quite a lot of people, was Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
Bought him in from Leverkusen, so ex-Arsenal player. So obviously with loads of experience, he's still a baller, mate. He really is, and he runs the show. But they got players who can hurt you. Defensively, they're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's definitely something I was going to mention was looking very solid defensively.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they still have decent attacking moments, don't they?
Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah.
Fourth, yeah, they look very strong. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a surprise for me to see them a top half finish. Obviously, you need to sort of know who they've played and one thing and another, but it's I don't know. It's a club, very passionate fan base. Obviously, with Newcastle just down the road, but they're a club that I would like to see play, like to see them stay up, in the Premier League. Yeah, they've been in the doldrums for a while, but really, really, it's good for the Premier League actually to have them back in. Is my
absolutely.
opinion.
Yeah, my only concern is for Sunderland is coming up to December and Christmas for AFCON.
Yeah,
that's the majority of their first team players will be disappearing for a month. Now,
that's right.
I think it's imperative that they came out and had this strong start for the first 6 games, because otherwise they would have been left in dire straits near Christmas, wouldn't they? So, yeah, I think they've definitely still got a real tough time coming to them. And again, freshly promoted, brand new players, heavy recruitment pre-season. They really have the making to not make it past into the second half of the season. But I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see how the players come back from AFCON. Let's see how many players get injured. I don't know. My fingers are crossed for them. I think I have a similar feeling to you. I'd love to see them stay up. I'd love to see them get a top half finish and get more money for next season and continue to grow into the powerhouse that they once were.
Yeah, I mean, I looked in on the transfer market this morning. They haven't been giving out big bucks, to get players in.
No.
So I think it's one of those unknown things, isn't it? You've got these players that played in Championship or wherever, lower clubs, and they just seem to gel. It's no different from Brighton, Bournemouth, and whatever.
Yeah.
Players that the big clubs, don't go for.
Mm-hmm.
And see where they're at. And I really think, it's for Sunderland, it's looking good. I mean, they had a really good draw, didn't they, at Palace back in the middle of the month of September. So that says something when you see how Palace are rolling at the moment. So, I take my hat off to Sunderland. Overperformed, definitely. But if that's where they've set their level, if that's where their bar is, and they can keep at it, December to through into January, what is it, 21st, isn't it, to the 18th of January, with the African Cup of Nations. It's going to upset a lot of teams. Will be affected as well, obviously. See how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a good plan would be to go on to the next team that you've just mentioned, because firstly, Sunderland scraping a 0-0 draw against Palace. Fantastic result for Sunderland, given how Palace are doing at the moment. Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner. I mean, what they're on, is it, I think anywhere between 18 and 22 games undefeated now since he's come in.
It's
They
crazy.
start last season when I think when he came in, Glasner, they were 17th, doing terribly, hadn't won a game in 15 league games. He's come in.
Oh dear. Ollie stopped.
Oh, I'm back.
You there? Okay,
I'm
keep
back.
talking.
He won a cup. He's beat City. The Community Shield against the number of things that Palace have achieved so far in the last 18 months have been incredible. And for Sunderland to draw with them is a huge result. A huge result. So kudos to Sunderland on that side of things. Now, we have to come to Crystal Palace, right? Because, again, hugely overachieving, overperforming against everyone's expectations. Currently sitting in third, 2 points behind Liverpool. 3 points behind Liverpool, 1 point behind Arsenal. Was that, I mean, how could anyone ever have expected that at the start, right?
Well, they wouldn't, would they?
No. And again, it comes down to that this is football. That you can't enter into a season and go, right, Bournemouth, Sunderland, and Crystal Palace are going to be top 6 in the first 6 games next to Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Where's your Chelsea, United, City? It's such a strange first 6 games.
Also, they lost to Olacey last season, didn't they? And then Easy this season has gone to Arsenal. And people were thinking, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It just shows you we haven't got a clue, really.
No, exactly. I'm going to run through the chat.
Yeah, please do.
So Matt says yesterday, excellent chat. Thank you, Matt.
Yes.
Sean says, who was your first real striker when you started watching? Mine was James Hayter.
Oh,
interesting.
Do you want to know?
Go on. Yeah, who was yours, Mal?
Keith East.
Keith East. Wow. Who was mine?
You're gonna have to do some research there, mate. We played at home against Shrewsbury. Can't remember what year. I really can't. But it was a long time ago. And we were a bit pushy getting to the ground. And me and my brothers used to stand in the south end. All right. And we got into the ground, kicked off, and after 8-10 seconds, Keith East scored a goal. And our parents, they hadn't even got into the main stand, so they missed it, and then Bournemouth won 1-0. There we go, there's a little thing for you.
Love that. That's awesome. Blast from the past, mate. I don't know who mine is. I think I'll have to give some thoughts to that, Sean. Dan Shaw, I'm surprised Villa are down near the bottom. Yeah, it's been an interesting start, and again, not one that we expected, right? There's a couple of teams that have had a ropey start. The one that I did expect, and again, refer back to the top tier list show, Newcastle.
Yeah.
I said Newcastle and Sunderland. I said Newcastle and Tottenham. One will do really, really well, and one will do terrible. And I said I thought Tottenham would do really, really well because of Thomas Frank. And it looks like it's going that way at the moment. Villa and Forest, 17th and 16th. And then Newcastle and United, 15th and 14th. I mean, that is dire straits. That's a really terrible, terrible place for those clubs to be. I mean, just looking at recent results, there's probably, 3 wins between them, 4 wins between them in the first 24 games out of all 4 teams. So, yeah, crazy start to the season. Dan says, mine was James Hayter. Matt says, my first strikers from memory was Steve Cotterill, who'd just become manager. Liam Humby, mine was Steve Fletcher. Yeah, I was thinking more Steve Fletcher for me, Liam. Great show topic. Palace are performing well. Yeah, Palace are performing incredibly well, Daz. Chris Hubble, mine was Defoe. Wow.
Thanks, ref.
That's right. Jermaine Defoe, crikey, Chris. That is also, I completely forgot about that stint. a second one anyway. Sean says, "Wow, Defoe guessing in his second stint." David Costa, Spurs need a striker. It's funny that, isn't it? I mean, they're still doing good enough as it is, Daz. They do need a striker. I mean, their goal difference is still, third highest in the league so far. So I don't think they're screaming out for it, David, but who knows? We'll see.
The long wait till January.
It is a long wait, yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of teams going haywire at the moment. So strikers could be available. There could be definitely some strikers available.
Yeah.
Dan Shot says, also surprised Newcastle is down there with all the players they brought in. Yeah, I could see it coming down. I could see it coming. Matt says, my first memory was Steve Cottle from years ago, Steve Fletcher and FN Akuku.
He's a co-commentator, isn't he now? FN Akuku.
Yeah. Dan Short says, have we got any going to AFCON? I'm not sure.
Semenyo? Question mark?
Let me find out. Going to.
I mean, it's a good point, and obviously, we'll come on to that nearer the time, I guess. But I mean, obviously, a little bit of research, so a bit of googling will tell you enough, really, what teams are in and what players.
Yeah, I'll be honest. After a quick search, the only thing that's come up is Amin Adli's interview when he first got here. So it didn't say anything about Semenyo, so we'll see.
Watch this space.
Absolutely, yeah. Sean says, where does Steve manage now in regards to Steve Cotterill? Not a clue, Sean. We'll leave that on for the chat. Caesar O. Canizales, up the cherries, lads. Yes, sir. Up the cherries, Caesar. Thanks for
joining. Good morning to you. Welcome on board. Up the cherries.
Matt Harrison, loved Defoe in his first stint. What a striker. Sean says, bit before my time. Matt says, just got a job at Cheltenham. He was there as manager years ago. Got them promoted out of non-league. He is their most successful manager. I
should have picked that up. Oh, God. I've got a friend who actually lives in Cheltenham, and he is a Cheltenham fan as well.
No.
He actually he posted stuff yesterday, and it just didn't twig with me yesterday. The connections.
These things happen. Yeah. It's still early, Mel. I'll let you off.
Yeah. Thank you.
Matt says, yes, you will, Dan, but that is for a future show. Sean, I think the whole of the league will have a shake-up this season, along with the championship. Saints got lucky last night. Yeah, Saints continue to get lucky. They continue to get lucky. They did the win over Wrexham, didn't they? 3-2, I believe, and that was a lucky goal at the end as well, I believe. I think this is Craig. Morning, Craig. Regis Labrie is an excellent manager, formerly of Lorient at Sunderland. Keep in mind Enzo Lefebvre, who was wanted by ourselves, is there and is doing well. They'll be fine. Good info.
Morning, Craig. Yep.
Morning. Yeah. A hello would have been nice. Matthew Harrison, Keith East. Not many will know that name. 60s striker.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe. Shout out to my auntie. She's a lifelong Cherries fan, probably for the last 50 odd years, I'd imagine. So, she'll probably know exactly who you're talking about. David DaCosta, Keith East is a good striker. Paul Sands, Newcastle are playing well. United are dire. I can't agree, Paul. I don't know if Newcastle are playing well. I mean, they held their own against us, but we didn't. I don't think we. I mean, we didn't excite me in that game. We held our own, and it was two very good defensive teams against each other. But I can't say that Newcastle are playing well. I think that's an overexceeded sentence. What about you, Mal? Are Newcastle playing well?
Not for 90 minutes, they're not. Yeah, I mean, being one up against Arsenal, you can't defend against a club like or a team like Arsenal for the rest of the game. So you have to try and do it, by going forward, defend from the front, basically. But once they got the equaliser, to be honest with you, I thought it was going to end up as a 1-1 draw. Couldn't see another goal coming, but they weren't as sharp as you would expect them to be. Can't actually put a finger on it. Especially at home. I'm normally at home, with the crowd behind them and everything. I mean, they are a good team to watch, don't get me wrong. And when they go forward, they're normally super, super good.
Mm-hmm.
But their failings, with one of the midfielders was out, wasn't he? Joe Linton.
Joe Linton, yeah.
I think he was on the bench, so not having that in the midfield probably, upset them a little bit.
Oh, there we go. Dan's
But certainly, as for playing well, they played better last season. Okay, but bearing in mind we're only 6 games in, so it's currently they're not playing at the level they should be.
Yeah. But as you said, there's still time. There's still time to come into their own. There's still time to and as Dan says here, injuries to Livramento, Hall, Visser, who again they've just bought as their replacement striker for Isaac. So you can see why there'd be a couple of issues. But Darren Hurst says Luther Blissett.
Yep.
Paul Sant says Semenyo, I think, in regards to the AFCON. Sean says the table is pretty close point-wise, to be honest, even being early in the season. Yes, it is.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It will be yo-yo effect, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there'll be leapfrogs in games as well in weekends.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Matt Harrison, Newcastle, give them a little time. Long way to go. Still need Whistle to come back fit yet. Yeah, exactly that, Matt. Exactly that. And Daz says, look at Bournemouth's start last season, so early performance for other teams can change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Malcolm, let's go on to second team on your list.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to Manchester United because of, Paul obviously put a comment earlier on. Underperformed or underperforming, definitely. Many, many problems at Manchester in the red half of the city. I can't see anything changing. Amorim won't change his system. Fans said last season when he came in, give him time. And things just weren't working. And you have to adapt and move players, change playing systems, one thing, but he won't do it. And when he has shuffled the players around, it hasn't worked. I also look at a lot of, some of the Manchester United YouTube videos from their fans, the honest fans, and they're very, very similar with their opinions. They think that, Amarin's had more than enough time, but the problems lie not just with him, it's, above him as well, Ineos and whoever. They bought a keeper in from Antwerp, Belgian keeper, Lamens, or whatever his name is. And why isn't he playing? They got rid of Onana and they got the other guy. I just don't understand it, and so many keeper mistakes. You've got to give the guy a shout and say, come on, put him in, start a match. But they haven't done it. And another big thing that they did was they put Bruno Fernandes, right? He normally plays forward in a 10. And they played him in a 6. And he doesn't track back. And through his lack of tracking back, they've conceded goals. So it's, watch the videos, watch the goals they concede. And it's awful, really, for a club of that nature to have players like that. Wrong players in the squad. Although they don't rate him, which I can understand. You have Maino, Yoro, Zersky on the bench. Why? These young players, they can ignite a game and give them the freedom.
So it's funny you say that. On my list under United was squad integration with a question mark. And then, you absolutely said new managers, new signings. shaky start with lack of conversions into goals, lack of points tally, lack of everything. Fan expectations huge. Player performances are below par. Everything at the moment is wrong for them, isn't it?
Absolutely. So moving on to this comment from Paul earlier on. So if Amorim does, and this is the point we actually spoke about before we came on air, is that Manchester United playing Sunderland at the weekend, and that could be the last game for Amorim if he doesn't, pull something out the bag. The number one contender, I see what you say with Bucky's favourite, but the talk on the Manchester United channels is that Glasner would be the one that they're after.
Oh, can you imagine?
Not the number one, but he would be like second place. According to, what's his name? Fabrizio Romano?
Romano, yeah.
Yeah. Xavi would take the Manchester job. So the ex-Barca, the ex-Barca player trainer, yeah. Andoni was also added to the list, but he always is. It'll only be talk, nothing else. He ain't going anywhere. So the bookies don't know very much, to be honest with you. They only want your money. That's my opinion.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
It was really interesting.
They are the creation of speculation. That is exactly why they get to waste money on things like Iriola.
Yeah. But the surprise was that Glasner was actually mentioned. I can't see him walking away from Palace. Why would he?
No, that's almost as implausible as Iriola in my mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I imagine Palace fans are looking at it just as Bournemouth fans are looking at it, thinking there isn't a bloody chance in hell. Well, why on earth would anyone want to do that? Doesn't make sense.
I mean, if you want to ruin your career, go to Manchester United. That's the way I see it. Because it's not just the team, is it? It's the whole thing, Manchester United.
Yes. Now, this is a question I wanted to ask, and I thought it was a good one. Are fans more forgiving of slow starts with bigger clubs than they are with smaller clubs who overperform?
But bigger clubs, they don't have the patience.
That's exactly what I think. Yeah. Whereas, if, for example, imagine if we'd had our first 6 games like United or Newcastle, right? We would be slamming. We'd be slamming management, wouldn't we?
Yeah. You have to have a look at the project. Have they got something in place? What's the plan? It doesn't have to be a season-long plan. It could be like a 3-month plan. This is what our goals are going to be.
Yeah.
But who makes the decisions and puts it out to the fans and say, look, come on. There's just so much wrong with United, I'm afraid, at the moment within the club. I'm sure it's not the best place to work. As for players, okay, they're going to get their paycheck every month anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, the players are, but I know that there's always been issues around payments and things happening. Yeah, and I mean, they're not in the greatest position stadium-wise, revenue-wise.
That's right.
Yeah, everything about them at the moment is concerning, and it would be concerning to be on the red side of Manchester at the moment.
Yeah. I think so too. It's a shame. It's a shame because you want to see them in the mix, don't you? As a football fan, you want to see the so-called big six. You want to see them fighting each other, but they're actually not currently. So there's other clubs that are actually saying, "Well, we can do this," and showing it as well, which is really nice. It's good for a neutral football fan. It's great to see a change in the teams up the top half of the table. So
really absolutely good. It is. Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Right, before we come on to our final team, Malcolm, I'm going to run through these comments. So Paul says, apart from 2 or 3 players, the rest of the players are average. We have got better players than United. Completely agree.
Totally agree. Totally agree with you, Paul.
I do. My only pushback on that would be that some of the United players, if they were pulled out of United and put into other squads, I think they would be absolutely better. They'd be 100 times better with the environment around them.
Just need to look at who's gone and how they're performing.
Well, exactly. Yes, exactly that. And that was definitely a talking point for me. I mean, the Premier League and English football are really good at getting rid of their own stars, right? We've seen it a number of times going to Spain, going to Germany. I mean, at the moment, we've got 2 strikers out in both those places exceeding every single bloody target that they've ever been given. And they've never won anything in the Premier League or in England. So it's a real strange dynamic. And just for anyone's information, those 2 players are Marcus Rashford and Harry Kane, just FYI.
Yeah.
Sean says, give it a few more seasons of United not being in Europe and they could go down. Yeah, I mean, that's not too far away from being plausible, to be honest. It's not looking the best for them at the moment. I mean, let's be honest. If they lose Amorim, if they lose against Sunderland this weekend and some other teams win, they could quite easily be 17th, 18th in the relegation zone. Then you're absolutely right. There'll be some serious eyes and looks on Amorim, and to be replaced with someone who can get them out of that trouble. And it's not that easy. So if they continue going the same way, who knows? They could be down there at the start of next year.
It's possible.
It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Matt says, love a Friday night game under the lights. Yeah. I think it's been a while, hasn't it, since Bournemouth have had a Friday night game in the Prem? I can't remember
the last one.
Neither can I. Sean says, I thought an article about United building a massive new stadium. How do they get the money to even think about that? Oh, that's their billionaire owner now, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Jim Ratcliffe, that's it.
Yeah.
Craig says, morning, guys.
Oh,
Finally,
yeah,
Craig.
yeah. Eventually. Morning, Craig.
Sorry, was tapping away in bed.
We don't want to know. Come on, move on.
Matt says, meeting Paul from Oz Friday, and we're looking around the stadium. Now that is the day
That would be awesome.
So you're telling me that you've got a session with Malcolm in the morning for Cherry AM, and then you're meeting Paul from Oz to do a stadium tour in the afternoon. That sounds like an incredible day, Matt. It sounds like you've got it lined up.
Envious.
Sean says tapping. What does that mean? He means tapping on a keyboard on a laptop, Sean, because he's working in bed, is what I imagine, mate. He also says Manchester United are terrible, a disjointed team of individuals and not good individuals either. Amorim is stubborn, but he hasn't got much to work with. Fair enough. Yeah, I like those words. I don't necessarily disagree. Go on, Mal.
He brought in Mbuemo and Cunha, didn't he?
That's right.
And all the United fans are going, finally. So, what's happening? Yeah. Big money players, mate. It doesn't always work.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. If we're talking slightly on that, I mean, what would be the word to use it? The saga, the Isaac saga, shall we say? You know, now I watch games from a Liverpool fans pub. All right, I watch all my Bournemouth games in there. They're a good group of guys, and every single time Isaac misses the goal, they say, "Oh, that's 135 million down the drain, isn't it?" Because he should be hitting target every time. He should be coming on the pitch and hitting the ball at the goalkeeper, and instead it's still wanging off, and it's a ridiculous amount of money for a player that I don't think was worth that much money. And again, I think he's a disjointed team, and I think people go, as you said, Man United fans about Cunha and Bremo, and what's it going to do? What on earth is going to happen from that?
Yeah, they were good. They're all good players at their previous clubs, and they fitted the systems that they played in. And you go to let's just say, bigger club or whatever, you know, the grass isn't always greener, is it?
Nope. No, it absolutely is not.
And it keeps happening.
Do we think that he will get the sack this weekend if they lose?
Yes.
Heard it here first, Dan.
100% Dan.
Sean says, if you send me your number, I'll meet up as well if you want more company. Nice. That's for the Friday night game. And Craig says, the fact that when we were beaten by them in the summer series, we were shocked and disappointed, says it all. Yeah, that's very true, actually. And I was shocked and disappointed. So that's accurate.
Yeah, but it's once again, it's talking about pre-season. It doesn't mean anything.
No, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't. You're right.
So when it gets into the nuts and bolts of the Premier League, then see how good we are.
Exactly.
Whatever club you support.
That's it. Daz said it's such a difference from the season of '99 when they did the unthinkable.
Yeah,
treble.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's been Daz. It comes back. Excuse me. Comes back to our conversation that we had yesterday, Daz, and it's about old school football. It's about football from back in the day, and you had the Arsenal squad, you had the United squad. Like there were, I mean, even Liverpool. I reckon I could name every Liverpool player that was in the squad in between 2000 and 2004 back then. Football back then was just different. It was different. It was 100 times better. There was more flow. There was less tactics and less strategy, more flair. It was real football, and I don't think we're never going to get that kind of football ever again, unfortunately. Matt says United is a project which will take years. United have to get next appointment spot on and give them time. The current manager was the wrong appointment. You need a manager willing to adapt while they rebuild. Chris Hubble says if Manchester United lose to Liverpool this weekend, then yes, their manager get the boot.
Sunderland, Chris.
Sunderland, yeah. Darren Hurst, Matt, I cannot say I relish a Friday night game under the lights as mega early morning for me.
Set your alarm.
Yeah. And just kudos to Darren. This week he has been incredible in regards to showing up for our channel. I think he's done maybe 4 hours so far at different times of the day, night, morning. So yeah, we appreciate it, Daz.
Yeah. Go and have a beer, Darren.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Wonder what our record was last season on Friday night games. Interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to know. Matt said he's had his transfer windows. He has brought his players in, and it's failed. Hence, nothing has moved forward. United's next appointment has to be right. Not that I really care, to be honest. Fantastic. Finish the sentence.
That's fine, but it's a topic of conversation, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think overall, I agree with the sentiment is should the manager get sacked, whatever the result of the weekend, is right. I don't really care, but it is an interesting topic to speak about. And it's very, very interesting to watch the fall of United. I hate to say it, but it's interesting to watch. It really is. Darren says, still set the alarm and watch every game live. Bournemouth is in my blood.
Yes.
Love it. Matt says, topic is great, but I just don't care about United.
Do we?
And Paul says, Darren, like all the presenters on here, was really good. Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Usually we'd be shutting it up about now, but there is one more team I want to discuss. So, Malcolm, if you'd like, please go ahead.
Let's go for the tricky trees, shall we? Nottingham Forest, mate.
Nottingham Forest.
Wow, to see them so far down the table, I don't think any of us predicted that. How we thought they would play. We thought they'd be certainly a top 10. I mean, there's still plenty of time, obviously, but with Nuno going, after his spat with the owner, wow, that was sad, to be honest with you. Because I really do like Nuno as a trainer or manager. He had them playing some really decent football.
Yeah.
Certainly, it must have had some sort of effect. The rumblings behind the scenes at Forest that the players weren't performing. And then they brought in Ange, bless him. Now, what can he do? apart from win a trophy in the first 2 seasons. I mean, I might look back and regret saying this, but it could be that they'll have a damn awful season in the Premier League and win a European title. They're in Europe, aren't they? So,
don't say that. Blimey. We saw
I
that
mean,
last season.
can you imagine that happening again? Well, yeah, I mean, Forest against Sunderland at the weekend. Yeah, it was a tough call. As I said, Sunderland really, really good side. I think Forest are going to struggle, especially with Ange. He needs to. Well, we know what he likes his players to play.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a decent enough squad. I mean, it really shouldn't be in 17th, to be honest with you. They're definitely underperforming. It's Big Ange like 17th position with a laugh. Yeah, but he likes to scrap, doesn't he?
He does. He does like a scrap. He likes hard work and not money results by the looks of things. But he likes it. It seems to be the world in which he enjoys. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a strange character as well, Big Ange.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy, to be honest with you. I think, take him as he comes, mate.
Yeah.
Is the way, he loves football, like we all do.
He's a character. He's a character.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I agree with you. I've got a bit of time for Big Ange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
I think he got a raw deal at Spurs, but there we are.
These things happen in football, don't they? And the thing is, as well, is you get to take it or leave it. That's the worst bit. And most of these managers always take it.
Yeah.
They never go, oh, actually, guys, that looks like a bit of a hard one this time. So I'll say no to that. They're always straight in. Doesn't matter what the job is. So, you got to give it to him. That's not the easiest thing in the world.
I think he'll get him out of the mire. I really do. It's like I said, it's still very early in the season. Something will click along the way, and he'll get some results together.
It's the big shout. So Sean says Forest first with the changes, and Europe to contend with. They'll be bottom half, won't get relegated.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible. I mean the overload with Europe. Yeah, 2 games a week, as it is. It's a tough call, but they, like I said, bottom half. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree. Maybe they'll move up to about overtake United, so maybe 14, 13, something like that. But if they get a decent run in Europe, I think the fans will be happy with that, bearing in mind the troubles that they've just gone through. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck to them, really.
And look, obviously, without mentioning the best result of them all, our best ever start historically in the Premier League, I have to throw it out there because it is the Bournemouth show. AFC Bournemouth, 11 points, 6 games, up there in the top 6 in the first 6 games. Doing incredibly well. And there's a reason that we haven't discussed Bournemouth, because obviously you all know everything that's going on with them. We keep you as updated as possible, but I just thought it'd be fantastic to highlight, out of all of those teams that we've discussed today, Bournemouth sitting pretty at the top and pretty comfortable right now. Yeah, and they seem to be the talk of the league. I'm not sure if you've watched bits on Match of the Day. There was a couple of interviews on Sunday during the kickoffs, pre-match and post-match. Bournemouth were mentioned in pretty much every conversation at the weekend.
Didn't do it last season, did they?
Oh, no, they didn't. And if they did, it definitely wasn't 6 games in. We were not causing this much of a stir, this much controversy, or this much conversation 6 games in. We weren't. It started to get near Christmas when we did the likes of ruining City's undefeated 33 games.
Yeah.
I think that was the start of December.
It was. That was the kickoff. Yeah.
Really picked up some traction in the media and in the public eye, and then it started to explode. So, yeah, just worth mentioning. Comments just before we go. Sean says, let's do a controversial comment. City will get points deducted, then United, etc. will be hit. That would be the ultimate shake-up. both Manchester teams. Yeah, maybe. Darren says, great show again, guys. Love the difference it makes to midweek. As difficult to get traction and interest. Glad you like it, Daz.
Thanks, Darren.
You appreciate that. Matt says 14 likes, Chisel. Sean says, we've gone through that one. That's fine. And he says it's annoying. Ladies got QPR away in the cup, but they are a mid-table team from the league below, so should get through. Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate that. Guys and girls, thank you again for joining us on our Wednesday morning Cherry AM. You will see Malcolm again this week. You won't see me, unfortunately, until Sunday night, which is when our Cherry Slats will be this weekend. It will not be on a Monday. It will be on a Sunday night at 7 p.m. So do get tuned in for that. Malcolm, any words before we depart?
Not really. Just say thanks everyone in the chat for joining us this morning. Have a great Wednesday, whatever you're doing. And I'll see you all again on Friday with Matt for Cherry AM.
Absolutely, you will.
Enjoy your relaxation this coming weekend.
Yeah, I for one will, for sure. Just before we go, quick reminder.
Up the Cherries in all departments has been nominated for the best club content creator for the Premier League. To vote, visit the link on screen. We thank you in advance for your support, and up the Cherries.
There we go. Have a great day all. See you again next time. Up the Cherries, and thanks again.
The Cherries.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.